All right, and welcome to Fastbreak Breakfast, the world's only Dillon Brooks and anti-tanking podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, and I'm joined once again through the miracle of computer phone with my buddy Dave DeFore. Dave, how about those tanking reforms?
You know, it's funny. The NBA leaking them, smart strategy.
Yeah.
Right. Get it out there. Let people just completely like destroy it and then throw it away. Right. It's smart. I don't know, man. They're all gonna have some kind of just side effect that we're not thinking about, that they're definitely not thinking about. We're just going to put every team in the lottery and just get over with. Like, isn't that where we're heading?
To not interrupt you, is this not the third time Shams Charania has been like, momentum has built for this new thing, and then it's like the new one is not even that close to the previous one. So we are going to talk about the latest, newest tanking reform. I felt bad. So Dave, like, motivation is something I deal with in a lot of my life. Always have. And
like lack of?
Well, just like sometimes I'm motivated for the wrong things, but it's just why am I doing this thing? Like what energy am I going to pour into this? Once you have kids, it's like, well, this is my energy and I love this. And this is now taking my attention, but I have these other things. And I think a lot of people deal with this. A lot of people want to say, all right, I'm not happy with the way this thing is in the world. Am I going to throw all my energy into that? Or am I going to throw my energy into cooking dinner for my family tonight? Like you gotta pick and choose. I'm trying to decide how much of my energy I should invest in helping the NBA not mess itself up. Like I'm talking about like emailing Evan Wash at the NBA and like the Byron Spruill guy and being like, listen, you haven't, I don't think you've covered some certain things here. And then like, I got an email from a guy who heard me on Locked On Blazers 3 years ago with my anti-tanking pitch, and he thought it was brilliant. He's run all these simulations. I got to follow up more with him to be like, give me more of your data. Because I'm like, I got to form a coalition. Citizens Against Ruining the Sport or something. But I haven't yet. No, let's table the tanking
we'll
thing for 1 second. Where do we want to go? Oh, let's get into, obviously the playoffs. Got to talk about the playoffs. Got to talk about Wembanyama blocking a shot over the backboard. Got to talk about so many things. I already teased Dillon Brooks. My guy Dillon Brooks. A couple fun stats about Dillon. I guess we need to just get around to all of it. So before we do breakfast, Dave, I had probiotic yogurt covered dried strawberries. They were dried strawberries covered in a yogurt, like a vanilla probiotic yogurt. I loved them, basically like candy. I mean, obviously a sweet fruit with a sweet yogurt. The description of them was borderline. It made me worry it was Maha-esque.
Oh.
But that's just the path. This is another whole discussion.
Oh, I mean,
it's the path we walk.
As long as everything's pasteurized, I don't care. Call it whatever the heck you want. I do think on the whole, people paying attention to what's in their food is a good thing.
Yeah, like has eating healthy been co-opted by the bad guys? So eating healthy still okay?
Kind of, but it's. I'm just gonna say raw milk is not healthy.
Right. There's a reason why
Louis Pasteur is famous.
Non-healthy things.
It's like refrigerate your fish, right? Like you shouldn't just leave it on the counter.
Don't leave the ground beef on the counter overnight.
Right.
These are good. No, also speaking of things being co-opted, I'm sorry, I'm hyper. I guess it's the yogurt sugar I just had. Speaking of things being co-opted, there's a guy in my neighborhood, Dave, who walks around shirtless with an American flag.
Wait. What?
There's a guy who walks around, no shirt on,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan style,
with a pretty large American flag.
Okay.
I don't feel like in my whole life that was like a warning sound. But now, right now, shirtless man walking around with an American flag, that's threat till proven otherwise.
I can't. Okay. Well, I mean, listen, where we're from, at least it's not a Confederate flag.
Not a Confederate flag where I grew up. Yeah.
Okay. But is he training for something? Is he going to be the flag guy
Lot of
in the new
questions.
Civil War?
I mean, like I like this more than those rucking backpacks that I think are like armored vests. Like this guy, maybe it's just the weight. It's just he's like, I'm gonna carry this weight. You get that wind drag, like running with the parachute, So maybe
again, maybe he's in a marching like formation, and this is his training. He's got it. Like I got to carry this flag all the time.
So I don't know. That's
maybe
just
he's a
thing.
Union Civil War reenactor.
There's a lot. There's a lot of questions. There's 50 stars on that flag. It's not Union.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
fair.
This is just the thing where I didn't used to find the American flag somewhat vaguely threatening, and maybe that's my own ignorance of growing up as a child. But still, it's like this guy. Who's this guy? Why is he shirtless? And what's up with the flag guy? Hey, flag guy, what's going on? Yeah.
I don't know, man. If society collapses, those American flags outside of a house is a nice marker for where like stuff is that I might want, though.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Sorry, Dave, have you had a breakfast before we've gotten
actually, you know what, Keith?
Alienated our most patriotic listeners.
No, yeah. I'm the most patriotic listener to this show.
That's right.
I actually thought about you last night. I was eating Indian for dinner.
Okay.
And I set aside some leftovers for breakfast.
So good.
Because I was like, you know what? I always have these like, I had a banana and a protein shake. So I had chana masala.
Nice.
For breakfast. Very good.
Was that served over rice? Yeah.
Over
I love
rice, yeah.
I'm a very simple anything with rice.
Yeah.
Like turning that into a breakfast dish, I feel like $1,000,000. Anyways,
Gallo Pinto. You ever had that? It's like a Costa Rican.
I'm not sure. Maybe
a bean and rice thing. Delicious.
Yeah. I've had some Central American. I've had breakfasts in Belize and Guatemala that were rice based that were just to die for. Also, I was starving at all times during those trips.
Sure.
So that probably has something to do with it. Anyways, Dave, after our breakfast, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode.
I have
is usually the first time we talk about the NBA, and this is a special one, Dave. You have an apology. What you need to correct?
Okay, so I will say, Mike Brown did not have a timeout at the end of the game.
That's right.
I got confused by the broadcast.
Yeah.
So the broadcast acted like he had a timeout, and the score bug still had it on there.
There you go.
And in my notes, I wrote, "Wow, why did he take that timeout?"
There you go.
I apologize.
You got it wrong. You were misled.
I usually am much better. I will say though, Mike Brown was asked because that he burned the timeout that would have been the timeout there, and he said he wouldn't have taken the timeout anyway. So
I also argue they got a fine look from
I don't think
from the NBA player formerly known as Mikal Bridges, who is not
five first-round picks
really around anymore. What's the move there? Can he be had for cheap? Can he be resuscitated somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could.
Is he another fraud from the Nets industrial complex? The Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges.
I think Cam Johnson's just not being used enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mikal Bridges stuff is it's so weird because thing is, like, he has some offense. He just can't shoot anymore. Yeah. And in that system, like that's his job. System.
Yeah. Are you also going to apologize? Should we apologize to Jakob Poeltl?
Oh, yes. Darko said last week that Jakob Poeltl, he's like, okay, I've got a plan for him. Yeah. He's coming around. Jakob's been good.
Yeah.
How about that? Part of it, I don't know, he's been unhealthy all year. He's been unhealthy for the last couple of years.
Chronic back things will do that to you.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I don't know what has happened with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley inside, but Jakob Poeltl has just kind of like big boyed him in a shocking way on the glass. Like very impressed. So yeah, I owe him an apology, big time.
We definitely laughed when Coach Rakovich is like, yeah, I got a plan for game 3 for Jakob Poeltl. And you're just like, Dave, you're just like, well, lying's a thing, I guess. But no, it turns out the Raptors, man, I completely over-indexed.
Great.
I guess I over-indexed the first 2 Cavaliers home games. Yeah. I acknowledge they made all their shots, but I was like, the Raptors were scoring the ball well too, and it still wasn't enough. Meanwhile, they go back to Toronto. They do not shoot the basketball very well. The Raptors still come away with both of those wins. You got huge Colin Murray-Boyle games. You get Jakob Poeltl contributing in a positive manner. There's also a stat here. This is a fast break breakfast specialty right here.
Uh-oh.
Jacoby Walter became the first player in the history of the NBA playoffs to take 15 field goal attempts over a 2-game span and fail to score. In the home games, he was 0 for 15 from the field. 11 of them were 3-pointers. So, okay.
That's the first time that's ever happened?
Well, the previous record was Rick Mahorn in 1988. I mean, the Pistons could have won the title if he maybe made a shot. He was 0 for 11 with 0 points. I mean, normally, first of all, people don't go 0 for 15 over 2-game spans that frequently.
Right.
That on its own quite rare. In a lot of the other ones, they ended up at the foul line and ended up with like 2 points, 4 points. So again, it's a little bit cherry picked, but still, that's why you come here. That's the fast break breakfast feeling. Jacoby Walter, first player in NBA history. Well, in the 50 years we have the data.
Sure.
Going back to 1976, 0 for 15 over a 2-game span. And still, the Cavaliers could not beat the Raptors. The Raptors had the worst field goal percentage in the play-by-play era in a win. I didn't think we would see that anymore.
Then the Orlando Magic did it the next night?
Yeah. The Orlando Magic, I think, had the 5th worst field goal percentage in a victory in the playoffs in the play-by-play era. I thought in the 3-point shooting era, that wouldn't happen anymore. Because it used to be you could shoot 34%, but get 22 offensive rebounds, win the game 88-80 or 78-70 or some other Pistons abomination from the early 2000s. I thought it was over in the 3-point era. Like if you go 4 for 30 from the 3-point line, you're going to lose. Nope. I don't know why.
But, well, I mean, this is the thing though. Like they've won every other stat, right?
Yeah.
Second chance points, points off turnovers. I mean, their half court offense even was scoring because of putbacks and whatnot. So I don't know, man. Those guys, they don't have the offensive talent to be in this series like this at all. Yeah. It's one of these like gutty performances from the Raptors, which is like, it's zip ties and duct tape is how they're winning.
Yeah. And you got like Jamal Shed being asked to play huge minutes and coming through, an extremely offensively limited guy, but you're still depending on him. I mean, Jacoby Walter got on fire last game. Both teams hysterically in game 5. Both teams shot the cover off the ball, I guess, too.
It was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen. So you had a huge shootout. Meanwhile, the Cavs, who we felt super confident in a week ago, no longer. Like, it now just seems there's no one in the East right now. This is the first time since 2003. This is from the NBA themselves. NBA Communications sends out. This is the first time since 2003 that all 4 Eastern Conference first round series have gone 6 games. Mm-hmm. So, you don't feel confident about anybody. I don't think
the Celtics are doing Celtics things.
You think? Oh yeah, they just are so beholden to the 3-point shot. When they don't go in, they lose.
Right.
So the math says
Derek White's shooting is probably a problem.
It's not ideal.
No, it is hurting them quite a bit.
Is the winner of the East going to be which one of Mikal Bridges or Derek White learns how to shoot?
Maybe. Okay, look, man, there's this crazy scenario where we're going to get Orlando, Toronto in the next round. and one of Orlando, Toronto, right? Like in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Could Orlando make the finals?
I want to know under the new lottery proposal where the winner of the 7-8 play-in gets one lottery ball. If then they upset a 1 seed in the first round, you keep that lot. I hope you keep that lottery ball.
I hope you keep it.
What if you're the Pistons, and what if you lose your first round series to the 8 seed, you then pick up a lottery ball and you're like, guys, we're a player short. Let's just tank this out. Let's see what happens. No, the East is wild right now because you had the Pistons falling down 3-1, and all those games feel like toss-ups. They also had like a shootout. The Pistons endured a great three-point shooting night from the Magic, which I did not anticipate happening. That series, I did take a lot of relief also. The last week, I was nervous about my guy Desmond Bane, maybe not coming through in the playoffs. He had some huge games. Also,
John Jaren were there.
So John Jaren were there, which was just, as a Grizzlies fan aside, very upsetting. I mean, as a human being, heartwarming.
Sure.
You love seeing men be friends. You love seeing men go out and support other people.
Wearing leather when it's 85 degrees outside.
It's always freezing in NBA arenas. I mean, yeah, I have no issue with Jaren wearing leather. I love seeing.
Do you think those clothes weigh? Like, because he's like 6'10".
Jaren loves spending money on clothes. So
he's basically rucking.
Yeah. No, my feelings as a Grizzlies fan, watching Ja Morant, who's been excommunicated from the Grizzlies, but it's still on the roster, and Jaren not on the roster, cheer on Desmond Bane not on the roster. Just, I don't know. It gave me a warmth of the friendship, but also just a generalized anger. And I don't know if that's just misplaced. That's just me being petty. But it did feel like that I was supposed to enjoy those players for the next, let's say, 6 years of my life. I thought I was getting a decade from those people. We only got like half that. It felt like it was the plug was pulled very, very early. And when I think about like the reflection of like where the Grizzlies are and like Zach Kleiman, and I know there's a conversation among Grizzlies fans and even league wide. I think most people who cover the NBA, Dave, I think they think Zach Kleiman's a good GM. Isn't that what the general feeling?
Sure. Yeah, he's not a bad GM, right? Like
not a bad GM. There he is incredible at drafting, it seems like. Certainly
they are really good at that. Yes.
Certainly they've had some misses, but they are generally incredible at drafting, incredible at extracting value from their two-way contracts, finding talent on the margins. Excellent. Everything else is very questionable. Like acquiring guys who are like dismantling your relationship with Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks, maybe no one could have done any better. But seeing Dillon Brooks have a huge playoff series for another team and win and get in the playoffs again with yet another team, you're like, that guy's actually good. That guy, Dillon Brooks, has a higher playoff points per game and playoff field goal percentage than Jaren Jackson Jr. And that's weighing in some horrible playoffs on the Grizzlies. So like, okay, maybe no one could handle Ja and Dillon, and those relationships would have gone bad anywhere else. Maybe getting out of Marcus Smart, who has like a Marcus Smart game for the Lakers. And you're like, maybe no one could have done any better. But also, when you're like, oh, wait, Ja, Jaren, Desmond, those guys are all gone. Let's just start over. And it's like, oh, yeah, we can find another Ja, Jaren, and Desmond. But we can't find is another GM to go 9 years with one playoff win. And it's like, wait, wait, what? So that part, it's like, all right. So like Zach Kleiman has a lot of positives.
Yeah.
But
he's got a lot of draft picks.
But picking the front office over the actual physical players who are good at basketball, that part I'm always like, I mean, this goes back. This is an aside, I guess. Maybe it's not an aside. I guess it's relevant because of like in the last week, Ayo Dosunmu's looked incredible. Ballpark, how much money has Ayo Dosunmu made in the last 7 days?
Man. I mean, would you rather have who would you rather have for $25 million? Ayo Dosunmu or Christian Brown?
You could have said any number of names. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, could you not have traded Ja Morant for Ayo Dosunmu last year? Maybe the Bulls wouldn't do it because of Josh Giddey. But like the Bulls got rid of Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu for a total of 6 second-round picks and Nick Richards. Like what in the world? Like,
well, those guys got fired, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
The Bulls did clean house finally, but like that's like they really scuttled the ship on the way out, though. Right? Like they were like, "Hey, all right, well, I'm not gonna work here anymore. Let's just go ahead and blow the."
It's like, oh, you Bulls blogger 89 wanted me to trade some guys at the deadline for picks. All right, I got you. Here you go.
And it really does feel like it took the Jaden Ivey, thing happening to finally make them leave.
They did also bring back a Jaden Ivey. Yeah,
they traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. That now, good luck.
Yeah,
moving Josh Giddey, right?
They traded DeMar DeRozan for nothing. What was it? They sent the first round pick and Harrison Barnes to the Spurs.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe they didn't know like the trade rules, and the league conspired to not tell them, right? Everybody was just like, hey, these guys don't know what they're doing.
They don't know the rules.
They don't tell them, and we'll just take advantage of them.
Speaking of league conspiracies, Dave, teams in closeout scenarios so far this postseason are 2-5. They're all just extending the series for the good of the NBA. They saw that salary cap dip. That number went down by $1 million because of maybe the loss of the regional sports networks. You got to make that money back. Yeah. Let's hey, if possible, let's just maybe make these series all last an extra game or two. Man, I see the Thunder not being team players. A sweep's good for nobody. A sweep's good for nobody. Dave, here's my Dillon Brooks stat.
Uh-oh.
Against the Thunder, Dillon Brooks averaged 26 points per game. That's preposterous.
It's insane.
The last 3 games, he actually had a great shooting number. In 2026, Dillon Brooks did the following things in the postseason. He averaged over 25 points per game in the playoffs against the league's #1 defense. Also, before getting into that playoff series against the #1 defensive team and a #1 seed, he eliminated Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the Warriors. Dillon Brooks did that exact same thing in 2021. Eliminated Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the Warriors. Went on to play a 1 seed that was the #1 defense in the NBA and averaged over 25 points per game. That was the Jazz back in 2021. What do you make of it? They went 1 and Dillon Brooks' team went 1-8.
Well, okay.
In those 2 series. But they're the 8 seed playing the 1 seed. He's averaging 25.5 points per game. More, 25.9 points per game. Yeah. And he's doing it on like pretty solid effective field goal percentage, like 58% effective field goal percentage. That's
right. But
something.
You lose because it's Dillon Brooks doing that.
Yeah. The team's just like, let Dillon eat.
You don't have enough talent. Well, you don't have enough talent, right?
Yep.
Dillon Brooks is a winning player, certainly.
Yeah.
But you're not winning with Dillon Brooks at 26 points a game. You're winning with Dillon Brooks at 15 points a game.
You know who's winning with Dillon Brooks at 25 points per game? Team Canada.
What are they winning?
He dropped 39 on Team USA in a medal game.
Let me know when they win something.
They beat up Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, and Team USA. I guess that actually, I've been all over the place. Biggest news of the last week is Anthony Edwards is hurt.
Yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo. Blown Achilles. Let's actually we haven't taken a break. Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about that. Before we take a break, actually, I want to acknowledge a Patreon supporter. This is a guy who canceled his Patreon, but then rejoined. And I'll be honest, slightly upset he rejoined because this is what I thought happened. I'm talking about Ryan Kirkpatrick, longtime Patreon supporter. Ryan beat me in our 30-team fantasy league in the postseason.
Okay. Second
round, quarterfinal, 30 teams. We're one of the 8 teams left. He beats me. Moves on. In one of our regular fantasy listener leagues, he beats me in the semifinals. I get shut out. I don't win a listener league for the first time ever in the history of the show. He also then wins our men's tournament bracket challenge pool. I thought Ryan was like, I've conquered this guy. Why am I paying him money? He should be paying me money. So I was like, I get it, man. Like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I get it. Walk away, go with God. I appreciate it. But he's since rejoined. So all right. Shout out for joining the Patreon. But I thought he was just like, he bested me. And he's like, I'm out. And I was like, I get it. You're superior.
Maybe the credit card number changed.
Could have been. Thanks for the support. If you guys want to support the creation of the show, get access to bonus content, join the Slack channel, play in the Stone Cold Locks Playoff Challenge. The standings are posted, and of course, we'll have the second round forms to fill out whenever that occurs. All of that occurs at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. All right, I've been mostly monologuing this show, Dave. I think it's the sugar, but
sure. I talk so much during the week. Sometimes it's just nice for me to sit and riff.
There you go.
Off of what you've got going on.
Nuggets Timberwolves, which was everyone's most anticipated first round series.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it has totally not lived up to hype. It has been marred by the injuries. The significant, horrible injury to Dante DiVincenzo and a significant injury to Anthony Edwards is going to knock him out of the series. We don't know if he's coming back.
Thing with DiVincenzo, I don't know if you felt this. Okay, all right. Injuries are tough for me. Like I don't know. I think it's tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But also like I've been on the sideline and watched my players get hurt, and there's this whole like emotional thing that you go through, and the Achilles tear has been the worst part of this job for me since I've been doing it, because I see them so much now. I've been in the gym personally for like 4 Achilles tears, which is just, it sucks. And I'm talking like, I've been there, a guy playing pickup. And
yes.
You know what I mean? It makes me sick to my stomach, like physically ill, the Achilles injuries, typically. Last year, Halliburton goes down. I thought I was going to throw up. DiVincenzo this year, I was fine. Dude, Jason Tatum coming back so fast and looking the way he does is such a psychological game changer. I'm hoping that it is for DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
But it definitely was for me. I don't know if you went through this, but like, the ACL tear used to be this thing where you're like, oh no, this guy's career's over. And then guys come back and it's like, oh no, totally fine. He missed a year, but
I feel like the ACLs. So this is now, I'm just talking off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I feel like the ACLs, there was a moment where it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad, 8-10 months. I feel like it's actually taken longer with the ACLs. They're 100%. Not as, they're like definitely missing out on their athleticism.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Jason Tatum thing feels like such an outlier. And the fact that Tatum has been this good in the postseason, where there was a question of whether or not he would even totally play. And if he would play, would he be, completely healthy? So, we're obviously hopeful.
And maybe
I
read so much of the optimistic news about Tatum, and I read about the new surgery technique and all this stuff. So maybe it's a little bit of like I've propagandized myself into believing that the Achilles injuries aren't as bad. But I mean, it's still obviously a devastating injury. But the fact that he may be back like in March,
hopefully,
is pretty insane. In a very short amount of time, right? Like that window got shorter. It seems.
I hope so. But going to the basketball series that we have in front of us, I call it a disappointment. What's your takeaway with this thing? With the Wolves up 3-2, the Nuggets are slight favorites to win the final 2 games. But what's your takeaway?
It felt like the Wolves were the better team at full strength, didn't it?
Oh.
Right.
I mean, I guess full strength is still like what is full strength, because of course
no Aaron Gordon.
The Aaron Gordon being in and out, and it seems like out. This has been one where, Timberwolves looked dominant, and also Jokic. Like we were blaming a lot of players, Jokic seemed like deserving of the blame, just having just not good games, and you're like, his horrible fourth quarters, and it seemed like wow, they're just going to get kind of punked. And I thought this was going to be a superior Nuggets team. I thought the offseason moves, Cam Johnson and getting a bench was going to help. Not even knowing there's going to be a Peyton Watson breakout.
Right.
You get a Peyton Watson breakout. Of course he hasn't played, but like this postseason has been like, wow, Timberwolves once again are just going to beat you down. But now it's like, I don't know. I still kind of think that the Timberwolves are going to win game 6, but yeah, this has been a letdown. And also knowing whoever wins, if the Timberwolves do win, like they're going to be completely shorthanded against the Spurs, and it's all disappointing.
I think it probably just feels like a little bit of a rug pull, you know, because the Wolves. All right, that gets interesting. If this Wolves team is going to play defense like this, okay, they're going to beat the Nuggets. They move on, but now the Nuggets like having a opportunity at an artificial 3-1 comeback, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good. And what if the Nuggets then, like, what if they do find their footing and they beat the Spurs in the next round?
Well, I mean, you have a lot of scenarios where I feel like you have teams veering into one outcome, suddenly saved through just random occurrences, or maybe not random, but just certain things have changed, and it changes the whole trajectory of your squad. Like if they lost in 5 to the Timberwolves, which is probably what would have happened if Anthony Edwards is not injured.
Yeah.
You're saying like, oh, well, we were wrong about David Adelman. And it's not just, maybe not blow it up, but like, can we depend on Aaron Gordon? We got to make big changes. And then you got like the penny pinching ownership group who's like, listen, our Walmart money can't cover Cam Johnson and Peyton Watson. And it's like, okay, so but then now, if because of these injuries it changes, what do you do? And then same scenario for the Magic.
Yep.
Is it, I think this is I don't know if anyone's done this radio bit. I assume somebody has. Is it bad for the Magic if they beat the Pistons? Because Dave, they were going to move on from Jamal Mosley. Like you do not have offense. We invested all these picks in this team. Everyone thought on paper they were good, and your offense is gross. And their offense is still gross, but they have the Pistons on the ropes up 3-2. And it's like just winning 3 games in this series, even if they don't advance, even if they blow the 3-win lead, like did Jamal Mosley save his job? And I'm even thinking, now think of the Rockets. If the Rockets had been swept by the Lakers without Luka and Austin Reeves, it's like, all right, we got to move KD. Ime Udoka, you gone. Now, even by forcing game 6, it's like,
I don't know.
Run it back. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if the Rockets won. The Magic is funny because I could see a scenario where the Magic talk themselves into it if they make it in the second round, even with the personality conflict.
How do you fire him? It's funny. It's like if JB Bickerstaff loses, it's like, oh, he was just. Did he win Coach of the Year or was he second? I have not been following my awards, guys. I'm so sorry.
I don't think it's come out.
Okay.
I know he won the Coaches Association Coach of the Year award.
Okay.
And I know he's one of the top 3 for Coach of the Year.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. So, but like, because of the 2-year turnaround with the Pistons, it's like, all right, he gets a pass. But it's funny if Mosley wins the series, like it seems stunning for them to move on from him.
Yeah.
But they probably should.
Probably should.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know anymore. I mean,
they're going to be approaching the second apron, I think, next season.
I think they got players they can get rid of. I don't.
Sure.
Going back to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Just to reemphasize, like this breakout from Ayo Dosunmu has been unreal. Like I thought he was a good player.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody, especially not Arturas Karnisovas. Did I say his name right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't see it, but these performances from Ayo have been awesome. His game, his 43-point game, 97% true shooting in that one.
Insane. And by the way, he is questionable. He's questionable for game 6.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He got downgraded.
That is never good. Thing. Yeah. Like you would think, there was that Shea game 3 performance where he had 42 points on 91% true shooting. You're like, how could anybody be better? It's like, well, Ayo actually was statistically slightly superior. Yeah, so we have these injuries too. Like, obviously, Franz Wagner didn't play in the Game 5 Magic loss to the Pistons. It's weird too for the Pistons. Like, all the worries have come to fruition, except for like, what if Tobias has like a bad playoffs? Like Tobias has been the only one who seems to understand like, Guys,
been the second best player.
What are you doing? We have to do stuff. Did Ayo Dosunmu make more money in the last week than Jalen Duren has lost? What are we talking about?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So Ayo's made like comfortably $50 million.
Sure.
Like I feel like there's a world where he ends up on the Bulls where he's arguing for hopefully $20 million a year. Like I think that would have been if the Bulls offered like a 4-year 80 or a 3-year 60. He's like, I don't love it, but there's nothing else out there for me. It's more than the mid-level. Yes. And now it's like, I'm not taking less than Christian Brown. Are you nuts? You know? So like he's made a ton of money. Duren was like, the Pistons were like, oh, do we max him? Do we just super max him? And now it's like, Detroit, you cannot give that guy. I know he's young. Yeah. But still, to be totally negated by Wendell Carter Jr., like that's not a guy you could pay. Like you can't pay a center. This is like you can't draft the running back third in the NFL because of the money. You can't draft a center. I mean, you can't pay a center. I don't think that. So yeah, it's been a rough go.
You can't pay a non-shooting center.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Another Pistons worry that came to fruition is, will Dennis Jenkins hold up? It's like, been a rough series.
Yeah. Having a hard time being on the court.
Yeah. And a lot of that is just, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, you have at least Cade finally made some shots. Cade had been shooting a terrible percentage, been turning the ball over nonstop. Cade and Paolo both scoring 45 last game. Incredible. But like the Pistons just can't shoot. Just period. Yeah. And
they're constantly playing two guys who don't shoot.
Yep.
Sometimes three. Brutal.
Anything else for the Thunder? I guess I'm looking to go through the series now. Thunder Suns, obviously Thunder sweep the Suns. The Thunder, it's just
will they lose a game before the conference finals?
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with them.
It's just I guess all about the Jalen Williams health. You know, and who are they going to take on?
But that's only Rockets, a conference finals question.
Yep,
it's
I
not
agree.
Like I think don't bring like they probably don't need to bring J-Dub back for the second round.
Yeah,
no matter which team it is. By the way, if the Rockets come back from 3-0 down, how do we contextualize that?
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. The Rockets played 8 guys last game. Reed Shepherd, who's had some bad shooting games. Reed Shepherd comes through with multiple clutch plays. I think he finished with 35 minutes played, only 1 turnover for Reed. So that was impressive to see. Austin Reeves returned for the Lakers.
That did not go well.
Not great. Also, this is shocking, Dave. The more games Luke Kennard plays in this series, the more his stats resemble his career stats. How does that work out?
I think Austin Reeves really like cramped his style.
You're telling me Luke Kennard's not a 25-point per game guy? Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird where we feel these narrative shifts. And first of all, it would be shocking still if the Rockets win 4 straight games. Obviously, there's no Durant, which doesn't.
Yeah.
It seems like he's trending for being less available, where it's not. These are no longer game time things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like, no, he's not going to play. Tari Eason, awesome the last couple of games. That was fun to see. But like we went from LeBron throwing alley-oops to Bronny and being like the centerpiece of the whole like great team, and the Rockets being confused when like Marcus Smart set a screen and they're like, whoa, is that legal? What? They're running this pick and roll thing against us and it's really messing us up. So suddenly they're like, hey, what if we actually guarded their players who aren't as good? I don't know. Like, do you have a feeling for this series or like what you expect of the game 6 and 7?
The Lakers,
if necessary.
It's funny. Like I thought the Lakers were going to pull off the comeback until I saw that they were playing Austin Reeves down the stretch. Like their defense is worse with him out there by a lot. And if he's not going to make shots, which he didn't last night, which I mean, he's been out for a few weeks, right? I just don't know why you aren't playing the players that are more fit down the stretch. I think JJ Redick has done a great job coaching in the series.
Yeah.
And I get like Austin Reeves is available and you've got to play him. I just didn't think that was the right call. And frankly, like again, the defensive step back that they're having to take is why they lost that game. Like they weren't and frankly, their offense wasn't able to generate anything. Austin Reeves couldn't make shots. Nobody else was hitting anything. Luke Kennard took 4 total shots in the game, right? They shot not enough threes, right? You're dealing with the math problem there. And I still thought they were going to come back and win the game because the Rockets are such a mess down the stretch. So I don't know, man. I think that they have to win game 6 or the Lakers just can't win.
Do you think
Like, if the Lakers losing game 6, I don't know how they're going to have the
pressure of game 7?
They don't have enough dudes. LeBron is a human, like legitimately. And they've got a travel day, not a rest day.
They're now paying the price for all those spaced out early games. JJ Redick 0-2 in closeout games as a head coach. The Austin Reeves question about whether or not like leaving him out there to close the game. That's a tough one because you have to decide priorities, short term versus long term, and like again, obviously you want to
wasn't working.
You want to keep going in the playoffs, and we thought their offense was not going to work, and that's why everyone thought, even getting Austin Reeves back, no Luka, you're like that's gonna be hard for them against the Rockets. I feel like the Sixers went through the same thing, where I heard criticisms when they lost game 4, where it was like, yeah, Bede, I mean, you got him back, but like you're taking some things off the table for yourself. But then in game 5, yes, the Celtics missed a lot of shots, and Bede, I don't know, like a designated hitter, just like incredible, like 33 points and 9 assists and like just unstoppable offensively. And it's like, well, yeah, they have to play Embiid to get him ready for the next, you want to win this series and then another series. You want to keep going. So like getting Embiid back up to speed, and they did. And like now that's a series.
The Celtics not punishing the Sixers drop, right? That's something you got to watch for in game 6. Like, will they attack Embiid more?
Yeah. Last series that we haven't really focused on, the Blazers did get overwhelmed, I would say, by Wembanyama and the Spurs. Spurs win in 5. Scoot Henderson, that bubble burst. that ended poorly. Drew Holiday got some of that Mikal Bridges, Derek White disease. Not able to come through. I'll say the Spurs being able to win that game 3 when there was no Wemby, where you got unbelievable Stephen Castle game. Mm-hmm. Derek Harper showed us the future. Like that was amazing. But then Wemby, I mean, maybe the most. Oh yeah, Dillon Harper. Yeah, the Wemby performances the last 2 games. Was it 11 stocks in game?
Yeah.
Was like that second half. I mean, the Trailblazers, they let one get away in game 3 because no Wemby. You thought maybe we could do this at home, but then being up 17 in game 4 at halftime and just getting annihilated, like a smackdown. They
scored 23 points in the second half in the competitive part of it.
Yeah.
35 total in the second half, but 23 when they were trying.
Yeah, so Spurs are awesome. Great season for the Trailblazers. Great job, Thiago Splitter. I'm sure at your next job, wherever it is, you'll be able to contribute somewhere else.
Yeah, I thought Thiago has done a great job this year. Clearly a good coach.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We haven't talked much about Knicks and Hawks. Knicks dominated game 5. Speaking of guys who maybe shouldn't be out there, I was stunned at the Hawks. Like we said explicitly before the series started, they don't have anybody off the bench they can really play. And Kuminga had some huge moments. But we're talking first half of a game 5 in a playoff series, and you got Tony Bradley and Gabe Vincent and Corey Kispert playing together.
Searching.
It's like, oh man, how did they end up with just nobodies? I thought they had somebody down there. I think they did expect. I think we expected slightly more from Corey Kispert. Like, he thought he was rotation viable, like ninth man. Dave, you're making a face. Corey Kispert wasn't thought of being ninth man viable?
Not to me.
Okay.
No. I think Gabe Vincent is the guy that they probably are the most disappointed in, right? They don't have enough guys, and their big man situation is just it's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Gay's been okay. I considered throwing Mo Gay in that name list I just did.
Praying that Jacques Landale comes back, right? Like
that's where we are.
That's rough. Yeah, that's rough. I think the Knicks probably get that one done.
Yeah, I think the Knicks in 6 feels about right, but every time this playoffs, it feels like something has fallen into what we thought was going to happen. Like, oh yeah, Sixers 1-1, but here come Boston 5 like we thought. I don't know. They let us down. And so, I don't know. Maybe we'll finally get a huge Nickeil Alexander-Walker game. I mean, CJ McCollum going back in the Garden. We'll see. All right, let's answer a couple listener submitted questions, Dave. This is the croissant questioner. All right, Drew wants to know, how much do you blame the 65-game rule for playoff attrition? Did the NBA effectively just shift missed games from the regular season to the playoffs with the 65-game rule?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Injuries are a mystery in all sports, and the increase of prevalence of injuries in the NBA is a big question mark. I think the easy one to point your finger to is like, oh, Kevin Durant was second in the NBA in minutes, and now he's not healthy for the playoffs. That's fair.
But he suffered an acute injury, right?
Yeah.
Like, he knocked knees with someone and he twisted his ankle. The DiVincenzo one, that one, like, did he play 82 games this season?
I do not know. I can look that up quite easily.
Yeah.
But
see, because I feel like he did.
Basketball Reference says yes, 82.
Yeah. So, I think the DiVincenzo one,
82 games, 30 minutes per game.
And that stands out to me. Right? But again, like this, all of the stars played on average 65 games.
Yeah.
60 games.
Well, even the Anthony Edwards injury, I think that one you can point to the 65-game rule.
You think?
Because I think he was trying to make into the 65 games, and he was.
Oh, you mean the knee thing? Yes.
I'm saying the knee. He seemed, because when your body's not right, you overcompensate in certain ways.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I don't know. I think there's a fair question to be had, but like, it is an entertainment product,
right?
And I think the intentions were correct with the 65-game rule.
Sure. And
also, they're paid professional athletes to go out and play for the people who bought the tickets and who are watching on TV. And yes, they're prioritizing postseason success for the teams that are any good. But like, where's the trade? Where's the trade?
Guys get hurt all the time.
Yeah. Do we want the guys to play 40 games? Just stay totally healthy?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Look, Anthony Edwards getting hurt, man. Like, he gets hurt. Like, it's honest.
Yep.
Trae Young sat out basically the whole season, right?
Yes.
Anthony Davis sat out. That's the stuff that is a problem. To me. It's not that, I mean, yes, I hate that Anthony Edwards got hurt, but like, he got injured.
Yeah.
So maybe the knee thing, though, the inflammation, like Steph Curry missed 27 games with the similar thing.
Yep. Mike F wants to know. He wants to know, why did Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green both take more shots than Devin Booker in every play-in and playoff game?
Because Devin Booker is #1 on the scouting report, and he hates a double, and he hates ball pressure, and you can take him out of the offense.
There you go.
Oklahoma City Thunder just throw bodies at Devin Booker. And so frankly, if he gets up a lot of shots, he's probably going to shoot a terrible percentage because they're all going to be rough shots. That's it.
Devin Booker being number one on the scouting report is a good answer. My answer is going to be shooter's gonna shoot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what, you want Jalen Green to be out there and not shoot? Like, what's the point of that?
Well, Jalen Green is not getting stopped, right? Like he's getting the shots up.
Yeah.
But he's also got one-on-one.
I mean, if Dillon's shooting 50%, put him up, buddy. Put him up.
Sure.
Let's do another one. Caleb wants to know, can you think of anything more dumb than Klay Thompson cheating on Megan Thee Stallion? Let me jump in, Caleb. Not my lane.
Yeah.
Not my lane.
Yeah. None of my business.
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for the questions.
Yeah.
If you want your question answered on air or as part of a bonus episode, you get all that at patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast.
I did see Klay is sailing, so
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
All right, Dave, it is now time for this week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given to the worst performance in a box score. Last week, Dave, I felt like this award was a little bit disappointing. No eye-popping numbers, but never fear, this week has completely delivered. Here are honorable mentions. I've already narrowed some down because it was hard to pick. Jacoby Walter, 0 for 9, part of his 0 for 15, back-to-back.
Historic,
thank you. Drew Holiday, 3 for 14. Paolo Banchero had a 4 for 18. AJ Mitchell, a 5 for 20. Reed Shepherd, a 6 for 21. Brandon Ingram, a 6 for 23. Cade Cunningham, a 7 for 23. And Nikola Jokic, a 7 for 26. Somewhat controversially, I've eliminated some of those higher numbers to include the following 3. Here are our nominees. In a Game 3 loss to the Trailblazers, with no Victor Wembanyama playing, Denny Avdia was 3 for 15 from the field. Did grift his way to 19 points. 19 points and 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. Next up, in a Game 4 win, Jalen Suggs was 1 for 13. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, and 4 personal fouls. And finally, in a Game 4 loss, Donovan Mitchell went full Kobe, a 6 for 24. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. Does the 8-second call doesn't even count as one of his turnovers, I don't think. That's a team, I believe that's a team turnover.
Team turnover.
So it's not even, doesn't even, so not in the box score, inadmissible. All right. So Denny Avdia, 3 for 15, 19 points, 9 assists. Jalen Suggs, 1 for 13, 5 points, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. Donovan Mitchell, 6 for 24, 20 points, 4 turnovers.
It's got to be Jalen Suggs.
1 for 13 is pretty gross.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Although, yes, sorry. He did win. Congratulations. Although, him not having to guard Asar Thompson and just wrecking everything, it was the most reminiscent I've seen of me playing NBA Live in the year 2000, where all we did, me and my good buddy Ben, we roomed together. We played so much NBA Live, you would not believe. And all you would do is you would go into the EA Sports strategy screen. You would tell like so-and-so, you guard who, like so-and-so, you guard who. And then you would take your best defender, maybe like a Sean Marion. It might even be someone like a Donald Foyle who was weirdly fast. And you'd be running around with a Donald Foyle who was matched up with the other team's worst player, so you could just be free safety and just run havoc, try to block everything, deflect everything. Andres Biedrins was unstoppable at this. I have Andres Biedrins free safety and just run around. And that's what Jalen Suggs, just run around. I don't have a shooter I have to guard on the Pistons, so I'm just going to run around and wreck everything. So, yeah, good luck, JB Bickerstaff, beating that. Anyways, Dave, let's wrap up with some tanking talk.
Finally.
You
know, Keith, no one was talking about this 2 days ago. Everyone was talking about the games. Everybody, can the Nuggets come back?
Well, they had the Zoom call. They had the GM Zoom or the team president or the team governor's Zoom or whatever Monday morning. What, are they not going to report from it? So the latest proposal. Okay.
Gunfight at the OK Corral for the number 1 pick.
So, first of all, is this new proposal better than what we currently have? I think absolutely yes. The highlight, the best thing for me, is the relegation zone aspect, where if you finish with one of the 3 worst records, you end up at best with the 11th best lottery odds. You get thrown into you cast your lots, you have a 5% chance at the first pick. So this will incentivize winning for
a month,
for maybe 5 teams. So like, it doesn't incentivize the winning. So like that part I think is good. It's completely flattened the odds for teams, 4 through 14. It's very strange. The negative, the very blatantly obvious, this is not an unintended consequence. The very blatantly obvious negative, it is screaming for teams to miss the play-in if you're on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Although hopefully they will game this out and see, because they're planning, again, this is not going to be adopted. I'm telling you now, it's not going to be adopted. It'll be something different next time around. But if they do adopt it, they're going to draw for every pick. So there's no floor, unless, of course, you're one of the worst teams who got punished by moving down in the thing. It's so hysterically confusing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's begging teams to miss the play-in. You're like, oh, you can either make the play-in or have some of the best odds at getting a 1 pick, even if they are low. But also, it has actually made it even easier, essentially begging teams that are not truly abysmal, but want to take a gap year. It is begging them to lose on purpose.
Right.
It is making it easier for this year's Jazz, this year's Grizzlies to attain the best possible odds at the top pick. It is made that way easier. Like you're saying, oh, I can't finish with the worst 3 records, just finish with the 4th through 12th and I'm good. That means, yeah, I can tank my whole season knowing if I need to, I can go out there and beat the Nets. And so it's like that part of it is not fixed. It's still incentivizing losing, even if it's flattened. So it could be better. I like that it does incentivize winning somewhat. I also like that it punishes the worst teams, where it might have some, at least there's some interest into the season now. It also should hopefully remove what the Nets did last year.
Right.
Where it's like you just go into the year being like, well, we got nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to build your team this year? No, I'm good.
They're going to do that next year.
Well, I mean, they won't have, but also it does change the teams who didn't control their draft picks. We were like, well, they have no incentive to lose. They were going to get, so they're going to get better this year. Now it's like, well, actually not so much, because their odds of losing a great pick have drastically diminished. Like now the Nets don't really need to go for it next year. There's less pressure because the odds of them giving up a very good pick are actually much lower. I don't know.
Again, throw every team in the lottery. Even odds. I don't care.
So
this City Thunder get a number 1 pick. It just doesn't bother me.
But so that also, the huge negative to that is also that greatly incentivizes teams to not make the play-in, which the play-in has been pretty good. It's at least compelling basketball. I thought the games this year were almost all really, really good. I thought that was at the expense of the regular season. You've cheapened the regular season for these few winner-take-all, single game or double game elimination scenarios, which I don't love as someone who watches every single night of the NBA.
Right.
Don't love it. The flat odds get rid of the worst defenders, but it's still, you end up, if you're in the middle, you're like, why am Why do I want to be the 10 seed? This is stupid. I want a 1 in 14 chance at the best. I still think incentivizing winning. It's really funny. The more they come out with these scenarios, I'm like, I thought mine was too complex because you couldn't explain it in one sentence, but I can do it in 2 sentences. And now that's less than these others.
Right.
To refresh, what if instead of ordering the lottery by losses, you did it by wins over teams that have a better record than you? Go the whole year. Pick up a lottery point when you win. I'm fine with the top 16. You want to make the play-in? You shouldn't pick between play-in and having the best lottery odds. No, go as far as you want. I don't care.
So if you're a 6 seed,
yeah,
and you have the most lottery points,
I am open to it.
The only way to actually reform it is every team is in the lottery.
But I'm saying, yeah, but yeah, and even in mine, it's like you have, if you're a 6 seed, your odds of picking up my lottery points by beating teams with a better record than you, it diminishes throughout the season because you're not playing teams that have a better record than you.
Right. I like it.
I like it. So we did this
self-check on it. What would it work out?
The Hornets would have won it this year.
Yeah.
The Hornets had the best lottery odds in my system because they beat the most teams that had a better record than them at the time of the game. Yeah. But you can't compare it to anything because 10 teams were losing on purpose. So like you don't know what it would have looked like. The Grizzlies had some of the worst lottery odds in my system because they never beat a team that was better than them. They just they didn't try for the year. But I also think you can add things to it. Once your team is eliminated from the playoffs, you get double lottery points if you win a game. For me, it's just it incentivizes wins.
Yeah.
It just says you still don't have to like rush Giannis back from a calf injury. It just means you don't rest like Isaiah Collier and Bryce Sensabaugh have been playing too well. Let's shut them down. Cam Spencer looks too good.
I flew 5,000 miles to watch Bryce Sensabaugh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
can't wait till he's a Seattle Supersonic.
Yep. Even that's not happening. Sorry. Expansion's dead. I killed it. Anyways, thanks everybody for hanging out. Dave, pleasure as always. If you want more from us, patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fastbreak Break, man. You understand?